Today is hive inspection number 4 we're going to be doing. Took a break last week, was on vacation, so we're going to be doing hive inspection number 4 today. And we'll see how the queen's been doing over the last 2 weeks, see if she still has more to lay, see how much comb they've built, and just do a general check on them. You'll probably notice a piece missing this week. I took the feeder off. It had been on there a while. The bees weren't really taken to it very well during the week I was gone. So when I got back, I took it off. My dog has showed up, so if you hear heavy breathing, that is my dog back there. All right, so we're gonna break a few of these open on top and check and see how they're doing up top here. It looks like they're doing pretty good from this angle. I got this new device over the last 2 weeks, and it should allow me to hang some stuff on the outside of the frame here, on the outside of the box, without having to set them on the ground anymore. Take these out. They're not doing any work on these on the end because they're just so far away from where they're actually working at. Now, so far, this looks great. This looks really good. So we put that one frame in the middle here, right here, and so far they've built most of the comb out on the frames beside it. I see a little bit of capped honey there. They've started working on the second frames beside it now. This one would usually be over here. So they've started working on this one. But they haven't started doing any work on the last 3 frames on each side. The 2 beside it are pretty much built out, and then this one is starting to be fully built out on one side. So this is an entirely newly built out frame. They didn't have any of this built out 2 weeks ago. And now I'm gonna do a better job this week of getting the camera up here. All those little white circles in there, that is the larva that they're actively feeding. And this side has a lot of capped brood on it. All those caps on there, a lot of capped brood, a lot of them have hatched. And then in the corners here, that is all honey. Honey across the top here. And then in this corner, there's also honey. That's what the white caps are. But that is a good looking frame. All right, now we're gonna look at the original frame we put in here now, moved up. We're gonna look at the original one now, and we'll check one more on this top frame. There's no need to go any further, but we're gonna check this one here and the next one just to see how far along they are, and that'll be it up top. All right, I'll show you guys what we got on this frame here. Just a lot of some nectar going in, a lot of larvae and eggs. And in this corner, I hope I'm showing it, this corner, if you see that glistening in the sun there, that's nectar that in a day or two should be capped honey. In this corner, they already have it capped all the way down. These bees right here bundled in the corner, they're putting in nectar. And the other side of the frame looks just as good. Got honey going all the way down the sides. All these open cells, from what I can see, are full of larvae again, so that's good. This is where we wanted to be at 2 weeks ago, but they filled everything with sugar water and nectar. Okay, we're gonna pull one more frame from this top box. We'll put it back together and set it off to the side so we can check the bottom. It's another good looking frame. Almost dropped it there, that would have been bad. I don't see the queen up here. There are eggs, so she's probably close by, but I don't see her up here. Unless she's hiding from me. I'm not gonna bother showing this one. It's the same thing on the last board. This backside, they're drawing it out right now. So that looks pretty good. Even the frame on the other side of it, they're drawing that one out already, so they're doing good. All right, we're gonna put this top one back together. I'm gonna put these extra frames in there, and I'll see you when we get down to the next box. All right, so just like on the last box, I'm gonna take our Hamefranger here that I got. We're gonna move some of this stuff out of the way. And we're gonna put our some empty frames here on it that they're not working, just to get them out of the way. Now this is we are on the third frame over, and we're gonna see, well, much to a surprise, they're actually not working this frame at all. On this side, or the other side, surprisingly. That's kind of a shock to myself, if I'm honest. I thought they would have built something on that by now. It's been in there for 3 weeks, so kind of a little shocked to see that right beside one of the old frames isn't worked at all. So we're gonna pull these 6 frames through here and give them a look at, just to see where they're at, see how they're doing. It looks to be a lot of nectar going in on this frame here, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. We're gonna see if we can find the queen today. Hopefully she'll make an appearance. Oh yeah, that's heavy. A lot of nectar going in on this frame. Hopefully you can see it glistening in the sun. This whole area, all of this is full of nectar, where they've just been out collecting it. A little bit of pollen, a little bit of capped brood, but no eggs. At least on this side. Let's look at the other side and see what we got going on. This is the back side of the frame. This is all entirely nectar, all of it, all the way up. See that bee with her butt sticking up? She's putting in nectar that she's went out and found. So this will be an entire frame of honey when they're all done with it. I won't be able to collect it, but it'll just be for them. Put that out of the way. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna check this new frame. That, if you remember, or if you watched the previous videos, we checkerboarded it. So this is gonna be a new frame we put in between the Nook frames that I had, the already built out frames. So this is a new one. I'm just gonna see where it is. I see where they've built a queen cup on here. I'll show you guys that in a second. There is not an egg in it, so we're okay. They just built it just because they wanted to. Oh, there's the queen right there. She has made an appearance today. Looking good as always. Right here in the middle of the frame. I'll show her to you right there. She's made her appearance. I'll let you guys watch her for a second just to see what she does. She's down on the bottom of the frame where there's no wax drawn out. But this frame was a new frame that was in there. This is one side of it. This is the back side of it. But the queen, there she is, going on her endeavors. A lot easier to spot with that red mark on her. A lot easier. We're gonna put her back. I'm gonna let her be. All right, now we're gonna check. We're gonna check one of the original Nook frames in here. This is one of the original Nook frames. Yep, a lot of larvae on here and some nectar in the corners. Oh yeah, lots of larvae and pollen going in. This is good. This is turning out to be kind of a pretty strong hive here, in my opinion. All right. That should calm them down for a few minutes. All right, this again is just another Nook frame I had. So they had been working this already. See if I can find the queen real quick just to make sure she's still where she's at. Well, I'm not gonna worry about her. She's fine. She's on the other end of the board, so. All right. This right here that I'm about to pull is gonna be another new frame we put in here between the old frames. They look like they're doing really good with it. As you can see, they got some cat brood, a lot of eggs, and same thing on the other side. A lot of capped brood, a lot of larvae in there. The queen will probably make her way over this way. There's some empty spaces. She'll make her way over this way and lay some more eggs in there. All right, we're gonna pull one more frame and we're gonna put all this back together. Get out of the bee's way, let them do their little bee thing. This is heavy. Oh my goodness, that's a heavy frame. Yeah, this last frame here, almost entirely nectar. This frame, really heavy when you compare it to the brood. There's a bee right there. There's a bee walking around with a bunch of pollen on her right there. Looking for somewhere to put it probably. Or she might have some nectar she's gonna throw in before she drops the pollen. But this frame does have the most capped honey of any frame I've showed you. All the way up to there, really. And then all the rest of it is nectar that is waiting to be turned into honey. That was a very good overall inspection. The queen is doing what she needs to do. To put this next box on there, we want to give the bees a little smoke, so we don't want to crush them. So we want to get them away from the top. Move this out of the way. And grab our second box. You always put it on at an angle and then slide it into position. That way you don't set it on top of any bees. Make sure your corners are lined up. All right, once you got all the corners lined, pretty much done. This hive inspection, as far as looking in the hive, is pretty much over with. All right, we are done with the hive inspection for today. So, from 2 weeks ago, this was a really good hive inspection. It was better than it was 3 weeks ago, for sure, where the queen had nowhere to lay. Now, there she is laying like crazy. They almost have nowhere to put pollen and nectar now because there's so many eggs and larvae. She's doing really good. Got to watch her there for a minute. It's always nice to see the queen. Overall, this was a good hive inspection. Very good. Like I said, the queen's just laying like crazy. So next week, we're going to make sure they're still laying and they're still building comb. Next week will probably be a quicker hive inspection video, just because we're not really checking to see, you know, we're not looking for the queen anymore. We're not really looking for anything in particular other than that she's laying eggs. That's what we want right now. We want to grow the size of the colony first before we do anything else. So we want to make this have as many bees as possible before we go anymore. Because my plan next year is to take this top box and split this hive, make 2 hives out of it. So we want her to be laying as much as possible this year, so that next year I can have enough bees and have enough frames filled to do that. I also would like to get 3 more hives next year, so have anywhere, somewhere 4 or 5 hives is what I want to do next year, and really kind of build this area out back here, this little apiary that I'm going to start. So that's going to be it for this week. If you want to tune in and see how this is all going, you can hit subscribe and like on the video. Thank you.